The city of Portland is trying to close a $160 million budget gap, and the city's first responders will not be spared from painful cuts. Mayor Keith Wilson's proposed budget includes $21 million in cuts to the Portland Police Bureau and a $4 million cut to Portland Fire and Rescue.
The proposal that is on the table currently will have a detrimental impact both on the Police Bureau and the level of service that we're able to provide, which means those lower priority calls will likely go unanswered for an extended period of time.
If your house catches on fire and you call 911, who wants to wait? I mean, that's the reality we're talking about here. You take a fire engine out of a fire station, that neighborhood is just simply less safe.
City budget hearings are happening now, and the budget will be finalized in June. Joining me now, Sergeant Aaron Schmaltz of the Portland Police Association and Isaac McClellan, president of the Portland Firefighters Association. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us, Ken.
First Sergeant Schmaltz, we're talking about a lot of cuts in the Portland Police Bureau. The proposed budget includes $21 million in cuts. You're talking about a cut in administrative staffing, cuts to the public safety support specialists or PS3s, a reduction in overtime, significant cuts to victim services and training, but no cuts to cops or investigators. So how do you see the changes affecting your officers and the public at large?
Sure. I mean, Ken, this is the largest cut to the Portland Police Bureau in the history of the city. I mean, it's important for us to recognize that. And the idea that it won't impact investigation and officers is simply not true. There's a through line to all of this. The cuts to overtime and the cuts to our vehicles will lead to cuts for actual responders on the street, people who are coming and getting called out for high-level crimes at night. Our team that you mentioned that responds to low-level calls, with them being gone, officers will have to take those calls, which will disconnect our systems, which are all woven together. So these are really critical and, like I said, largest cuts we've ever seen in the history of the city.
For the Portland Fire Bureau, we're looking at the removal of a fire engine, reducing medical rescue team hours, reductions in 911 dispatch. You call the cuts completely reckless. Why?
Well, quite simply, if firefighters or you cut firefighters out of the fire station, you're just going to have a slower response time. When you call 911 when your house is on fire and there's no fire engine in that station down the street, that means that a neighboring station down, from another neighborhood has to travel farther, and fires double in size every minute. And the fact of the matter is, people can't wait when their house is on fire. People shouldn't have to wait when they call 911 if they have a major medical incident, if your child has a medical emergency, if your parents have a medical emergency. You need to know when you call 911 that first responders are going to be there for you in seconds.
Mayor Wilson is proposing cuts across the board. It could mean 160 people are let go across city bureaus. You know the fiscal situation the city is in. Why shouldn't police and fire have to tighten their belts as well?
Well, I think the core responsibility for a city is to keep us safe. And the reason that matters is our ability to recover from the financial situation we're in depends on that recovery. Frankly, Portlanders need to know that when they have an emergency, that someone's coming to help, that situation will be handled. This is why this matters to us. I mean, you think about crime victims, people who many times are victims for the first time. When they call 911, you need a responder, you need to know that there's going to be a resolution. Community policing is the core of the work we do, and that takes time. It's a capacity issue. So again, you just imagine yourself being a business owner, being a parent at home who's calling 911. You need to know that you can continue your day. People, customers can keep coming in. You can have people respond and help you find your car when it's been stolen. All of these things have a deep impact on people's trust in the government, and that's where the funding needs to begin.
How do you answer that question? I mean, with the other responsibilities that the city has to deal with, why shouldn't police and fire have the opportunity to look at their budgets, make these cuts as well?
Yeah, I think that's, obviously it's a very difficult job the mayor and the city administrator have when they place that budget on the table. And now that they've handed it to council, council will have to take a look and see if that meets the metrics of their constituents around the city of Portland. And I think people are going to have to make a decision when they watch this process in real time, what is important to them and make their interests well known. For me as a firefighter, it's pretty simple. For 23 years I've been in this city as a firefighter, and I can tell you that we are We are strategically placed in our fire stations with a certain number of firefighters so that we can deliver to meet the risk that is put before us, whether it be houses or apartments, schools, churches, so on and so forth. It's not an accident. We've been very strategic about how that has been placed. And so to remove a fire engine out of a fire station, to cut fire trucks from neighborhoods in North Portland or South and Southeast Portland, there's just no other way to put it. It's gonna risk our public health. It's gonna risk our ability to protect life and property. That's the fundamental core principle of firefighters. And so I'm not weighing the importance of making decisions. But for me, as a firefighter, it's pretty simple: is that people's lives come first. Those public safety issues come first.
You've made, both of you have made the connection between public safety, first responders, and the economy of the city. You know, we're trying to bring back the city right now. Talk about that tie.
Well, so we know, again, safe cities are thriving cities. What we saw in Portland is our downtown core get hollowed out. And also, it has been the promise of this new form of government, which we're spending a lot of money on, way more than we've spent on the administrative side, to deliver services and safety to our community. And when you're talking about shutting down police stations as far as desk clerks who are manning, you're breaking the connection at a time when we're spending all this money on this new government. And at the end of the day, if our city is not safe, people aren't coming. The number one thing you hear from people, we're the 48th to 50 of police services in the nation. When people hear that, they don't want to invest in Portland. And that investment, if it doesn't come, if investors don't believe that it's a safe city, they won't spend their money here.
Budget hearings are happening now. Listening sessions are happening now. What's your strategy between now and then?
Well, I think it's pretty simple to say this. We just learned, 2 days ago, that the fire chief, under the mayor's direction for budget cuts, is cutting a fire engine from North Portland and the St. John's neighborhood. Now, there's a budget listening session scheduled for District 2, which that Station 22 is in District 2 on Monday. So we're asking the citizens from St. John's, from University Park, where there was just a fire yesterday in somebody's home where it caught a couple structures on fire, to turn out for that listening session. Let City Council know that public safety matters to you, that your firefighters, that your police matter to you, and that you need a robust system to protect life and property. So we're asking all of those neighborhoods. Linton is going to be at risk. Not just the St. John's neighborhood, not just University Park, but also Cathedral Park, and the surrounding areas, even as far as Sovies Island, which we respond to from that same station. Those communities are counting on those first responders being in that station. That station in St. John's is going to be cut by 50%. That means instead of having 8 firefighters on duty, which they have for decades, now we're only going to have 4. That's a pretty significant reduction. Not to mention, there's another listening session actually tomorrow at 10 a.m. out in Linfield. And there's 3 two-person responders that are going to be cut. So that's a six firefighters that are going to be reduced at nighttime, which means when people are sleeping in their homes and they think, well, if there's an incident, I call 911, someone's responding. Yeah, but it might take longer, and we can't let that happen. Portlanders are counting on firefighters to respond quickly. So we are asking the community to turn out to those listening sessions, speak up for your safety, and let firefighters do our jobs.
Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us, Ken.
Next, a Portland landmark returns.